I've been waking up really ridiculously early. So we're gonna get a one.
Hello, hello. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and begin my speech. I appreciate a few of you for attending. But first and foremost, I sincerely want to thank you all for attending my final State of the Student Body address for the 54th term. And it is my pleasure to really speak before you this evening. It's my duty to address the state of the student body along with the state of our student government here at the University of South Florida for the spring semester. Normally, I'd stand here and remind you all of the recent events that you already know about due to the previous executive branch updates. But that's not really my leadership style, and I don't like to talk just to hear myself talk. So I'd like to keep my remarks short and straight to the point this evening to really get my message across. To put it lightly, the events that we've witnessed during the spring semester have made it a very memorable semester for all of us. And I'm still not sure whether that's in a good way or a bad way. But despite all that has happened, or allegedly happened, we must be able to look past our differences, work together, and keep student government moving forward as we come to the end of our term. Last week, we saw a very spirited and united student body as we celebrated the events during USF Week. But it appears to me that the state of our student government does not reflect the state of our student body. Internally, there's lots of chaos, controversy, and concern within our student government this semester, which, to a certain degree, can be expected with the high energy brought forth by an election cycle. But I ask that we all do what I have done in the last few weeks, and that's to take a moment to really remove ourselves from the situation, truly evaluate whether our actions are representative of our constituents. There's no right or wrong answer here, and I'm not trying to tell any of you to do something or one another or sway your opinions. After all, there would be no purpose for governance if everyone got along and agreed on everything. I just ask that we simply take the time to reflect on ourselves. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "Freedom is not worth having if it does not include the freedom to make mistakes." And there's not a person in this room here with us today who hasn't made a mistake, including myself. But the beauty of student government lies within that one key word, student, which, defined by dictionary.com, is a person who is formally engaged in learning. I don't know about all of you, but there isn't a day that goes by that I haven't learned something new because of my involvement in student government. And some of the hardest lessons I've ever had to learn have come from making mistakes, admitting my faults, and growing as an individual because of my experience. So together, let us acknowledge our mistakes that we have all made. Let us remember that we are here because of a distinct desire to learn, and let us strive to transition the 55th term administration to the very best of our ability. When looking back on this year in totality, I recall many sleepless nights, panic attacks, energy drinks, which probably didn't help with the panic attack. But I'd be lying if I stood here and said that serving as your student body president wasn't the single most best experience of my entire life. I certainly wouldn't be standing here today without the support of my best friend, Scott Sandoval, who I had the pleasure of calling my vice president. I certainly wouldn't be here without the dedication and perseverance of my executive branch cabinet. And I certainly wouldn't be here without the help of many people in this room. But I can't help. All right. Now I do want to give a plug into the library situation. That seems to be my overplayed point of pride. But really the key to the library situation that means the most significant to me was the fact that I got to see another side of USF student government. A side where we were united and we were truly able to serve as an advocate for the students that we represent. And so that's really a point of the library situation that I don't want any of us to ever forget, and that's the true potential of a student government that serves the student body. And so whether this is your last term in student government or your very first, let's make the most of these last couple weeks. Let's put aside our differences, and most importantly, let's work to keep moving student government forward. So thank you all, and as always, go Bulls.
Thank you. We'll start Senate in 25 minutes.